What's going on, gangsters? Movie John 75, and I'm doing a different type of video. This is my hip-hop CD updates, and I'm just going to start doing these. I don't have a whole lot of CDs to show off, but this is stuff I bought in the last so many months. I've been inspired by another YouTuber named Killer Tapes 93. He's been doing some videos on here for a few years. I got to check out his stuff. I went through. He collects vinyls. And he collects CDs, and I seen him with some cassettes. And back in the day, I used to be real big into cassettes, and I got rid of all of them. I wish I didn't now. But I'm going to pick up a few here and there, CDs. And the first one that I got a few months ago, straight out of Compton. Yes, the music soundtrack. And I'm real big on my soundtracks. If you noticed in some of my older videos, I used to actually show off some videos of my soundtracks, but I definitely had to have this one. It's got some cool stuff on it, man. I tell you, there's like 17 tracks on this thing. Couldn't go wrong with the Straight Outta Compton soundtrack in memory of Eric Easy E. Wright. I said, kind of tongue-tied here. Straight Outta Compton. Next up, I'm old school. I was raised in the late 80s, early 90s. This is Raw Fusion, live from the Styletron. Money B, great stuff here. I had this on cassette years ago, and I just looked it up here not long ago on Amazon. I don't know, I just had to have it again, and I paid a few dollars, probably more than I really should paid for it. I think it was like $15, $16. Usually I don't like to pay over 10, but I mean, it is old. I think it's from 92, I believe, but got to get in with the Raw Fusion, baby. A lot of people probably that don't listen to a whole lot of rap, just off and on, they probably never even heard of this band, but good stuff here. Speaking of the early 90s, High C featuring Tony A. Yeah, this is Scandalous. Love this CD. Well, back in the day, I had it on cassette, and I bet I played that damn thing 5,000 times in a week. No, but anyway, great stuff. He had another album out like a year or two later. I didn't really care much, but this one's great. It's got AMG on here. Second to None's on this thing. DJ Quick makes an appearance. AMG. I mean, there's some good stuff on here, and they run with each other basically, you know. And Second to None's, I really loved them back then too. That's High C and Tony A. Next up, Ice Cube, Greatest Hits. I found this here just recently, about maybe a month or two ago. $5 at the FYE. And surprisingly, for some reason on this, you do not see Ghetto Bird. And I don't understand why that's not on here. But, you know, I do like Ice Cube's earlier stuff, all the way up to about Lethal Injection, a little bit after that. But I wanted one that had some good, you know, all the some greatest hit tracks on it, and that's why I picked this one up. But I was disappointed when it didn't have the Ghetto Bird. Next up, I just bought this the other day. Actually, my newest one I bought, the Doc. No One Can Do It Better. If you've seen Straight Outta Compton, you know how the Doc had his role playing out with the NWA. Ruthless Records, baby. Favorite three on here is Funky Enough. Of course, everybody knows that one. And Portrait of a Masterpiece, which had NWA was, well, not on that one. Dr. Dre was on that one. But the last one, the grand finale, had, of course, NWA with him, too. I think that's the only reason why he has the, well, I thought there was a parental advisory sticker on this, but there's not. The Doc don't cuss that much, but sure does NWA on here. And I seen this. I used to have this on cassette too back in the days. It's the old Doc. I just hated to hear, you know, when I remember when he got in that car wreck back in the early 90s, and he had a few other albums, but his voice was just never the same like this, and boy, he could rap fast, and I liked him. Killer Tapes 93, yeah, you talk about CD singles, and I found this. I looked in the bargain bin at Cheap Thrills. This was $1.95. We're All in the Same Gang. Yeah, you remember this one? Has Ice-T, Tone Loc, NWA, King T, Body and Soul, Young MC, Above the Law, Michelle A, Def Jeff, JJ Fad, Easy, Digital Underground, MC Hammer. It just goes on, man. And I remember my buddy had a single of this on cassette, and we listened to it, and we thought it was great. Of course, from all the West Coast and stuff. the West Coast Rap All Stars. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the East Coast did a kind of like an answer to this. I remember back in the day. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's got a We're All in the Same Gang radio special, and then there was the regular version, and then Telling Time by it's Mike's Rap. So it's Warner Brothers. But yeah, you don't see the CD singles out much. That's what Killer Tapes 93 said, and I said as soon as I seen it, I'm like, I'm getting this bad boy for $1.95. Next up is the Godfather gangster rap himself. It's on Eazy-E. I was living in Virginia Beach back in 93, 94 when this came out, and this, I think, is his best album. I mean, today, at that time, yeah, he had to get on, of course, 93. Yeah, he had to talk junk about Dr. Dre at the time, but you know what? This is a great album, and I loved it, and I still do. Only 8 tracks, so I wish they could have put more on this thing, but to me, this is his best album ever. Too bad Eazy had to go down too young, man. Who knows what he could have done afterwards that. Another one, $5 special, Cypress Hill. I can't talk today. First album here. I don't have to tell you much about Cypress Hill. They've been out for years. $5 special here too. Of course, that Eazy-E one was $5 too. I try not to buy too many over $5. I like you gotta have a deal. You gotta get a deal. You know what I mean, gangsters? Right there. Look at all that stuff. Everybody knows Hand on the Pump. How could you just kill a man? And that's what turned me on to Cypress Hill back in the day. Next up is a little bit newer. This is Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. I like Kendrick Lamar. His first CD, Mad City, I actually like better. But, oh, damn, the disc is falling out. But this one, damn, the whole damn case just fell apart. That's one thing about CDs sometimes. You get some of them and the damn case breaks. But Mad City I liked better. But I haven't listened to this as much as I probably should have. I need to put it in the car and give it another listen. I haven't listened to it in a little while. There's the tracks, if you can read them. But, yeah, Kendrick Lamar is one of the few newer rappers out nowadays that I actually like. So, Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. And the last one, we're going way back to 91, Second to None. You remember me talking about them earlier. KK, I mean, he was a hell of a rapper, man. I like, and they still got stuff out. I looked on Spotify, and they had an album like in late 90s, and then they just had one like 2 or 3 years ago. But it does not have the same effect as this one did, man. I remember this one, this self-titled album. I mean, and then I actually got this off of Amazon too. Damn case is cracked though. But More Than a Player, If You Want It, Be True to Yourself. I mean, had all kinds of great stuff on it back then. If you don't know Second to None, you gotta check them out. But this is my first update. I'm not gonna be doing these a whole lot. I'll get some stuff at Christmas. I'll get some Christmas money and stuff like that, and I'll definitely get some. I'm more old school, so late 80s, early 90s is what I like the best. But I still like some new things. And this is my first installment. Thanks to Killer Tapes 93, I give him another shout out, and his link will be at the bottom. I'm going to show you one of his videos on there. You go sub him and check him out. Till next time, gangsters. Woo!